Hi, welcome to Programming Fundamentals. We're continuing our introduction to programming, and we're going to look at another data type now. And we're going to have a look at a data type which holds real numbers or numbers which have decimal places. If you think back to the last tutorial, we introduced the idea of an integer which held a whole number. This time we're going to use a double. A double holds a 64-bit floating point value. I could have also used a float which holds a 32-bit value, but we're on a 64-bit processor, so we'll use the double. The other idea I'm going to introduce you to in this video is the idea of a constant. Remember, a constant is a data item whose value does not change during a program run. And what we're going to do is we're going to write a simple program to calculate the area of a circle given its radius. Okay. So the first thing, remember that the formula for an area is pi times radius times radius. Okay, so the simple formula for a circle is pi r squared, or pi times radius. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to define pi, and I'm going to give pi a constant value throughout my program. It's never going to change, so I'm going to say const, which is the keyword for a constant. I'm going to give it a type of double because it's a floating point value. I'm going to call it pi, and I'm going to set its value to 3.142. Okay, and then a semicolon on the end. And when I use constants, it's a good convention to get into just to use capitals like that. It makes them stand out a little bit from variables. They're easier to see when I'm just glancing at my code. Like, yes, indeed, this is a constant. Okay, and this time around we're also going to get the user to input the value of the radius that they want. So I'm going to declare another couple of doubles, and I'm going to have one called radius and the other called area. Okay, and I was going to say cout. So remember, this is going to output something to the screen. Enter a value for the radius. Okay, and I'm going to use the ENDL, the ENDL, which just creates a new line. Okay, and we've written out to the screen like that before. We did it in the first week with Hello World. This time we're actually going to get a value back in, and C++ gives us the cin command to do that. So I'm going to say cin radius. So what's going to happen here is we're going to ask the user to enter a value for the radius, and then we're going to read that value in, and we're going to store it into the variable radius. Okay, so that's my first part of my programming. That's inputting and storing the basic data. So I've got that from there. So that's the first part of my sequence. Okay, I'm now going to do the process, in which case this is calculate the area. So there's a little comment saying what I'm doing, and I'm going to say area equals pi times radius times radius. Okay, and then I'm going to output the result to the screen. I'm going to use /n there just to create a line break. I'm going to force a line break, and I can do that with. I could use endl, but I'm going to use /n. Either one will do. I'm going to say area is area. And this time round I'm going to force a I'm going to force the program to hold in a slightly different way. We used getchar before, but we can run into problems with this if there's characters in the buffer, and seeing quite often if we run into problems with this, you'll find it doesn't work so well. So we're going to use one of the system functions. We're going to use system pause like that, and that's just going to hold the page for us in exactly the same way getchar did, but it's going to do it in a slightly different way. Okay, so I'm going to save that and build. Okay, we're just going to need to wait a minute for that to go. So yeah, it's telling me down there at the bottom, it's telling me that I've got one build successful, so now I'm going to run that. Okay, so it's asking me, so we're here, enter a value for the radius, so it's asking me to do that. So I shall enter a value of 3. And there we go, it says area is 28.278, which is pretty much what I'd expect for that value of pi. And we notice now that we've got this press any key to continue, that's the system pause that's doing that.